driving the idea of the $200 million investment in broadband this year to increase telemedicine capacity. You've helped make California a leader in the global economy, and of course this is fitting because we have a history of leadership in this state. And I'm talking about not just in technology, but also in entertainment and in protecting the environment, and also in infrastructure. As you know, that we in the 50s and 60s, we've built here in the state the most incredible infrastructure. We built a framework for the state to grow and to prosper. The schools our children needed, for instance, or the finest highway system in the world, or the dams and the levees that let us control and move water around anywhere in the state. As much as anything, this solid foundation was responsible for our tremendous success. But the sad story is that for the past few decades, California has ignored the lessons of the past. We have neglected our infrastructure, and we quit building. The state was lacking in vision, and now we are faced with a weak and crumbling system. As a matter of fact, our infrastructure right now is infrastructure for 20 million people, but not for 37 million people. And that's why in my January State of the State address, I laid out a strategic growth plan to revitalize the very core of our state. I was determined that California would get back its shine and its status as the most wonderful place in the world, that we could become again the golden state. And voters responded and overwhelmingly and approved this record investment of $42 billion into California's future. That people know that building new highways and schools and levees and affordable housing will improve their lives and the lives of their children. They know that there is an alternative than being stuck in traffic for hours, and that the kids should not sit in overcrowded or run-down schools or portable classrooms, and that our flood control system does not need to rely on sandbags or on dry weather in order to protect our people. So people were asked to envision California's future, and they chose greatness and opportunity. But more than anything, this strong yes vote on the bonds signaled that people have confidence once again in their state government and in their political leaders. And not just in the one party, but in both of the parties, Democrats and Republicans alike. Now, 18 months ago, if you think about that, less than 1/3 of all Californians thought that the state is moving in the right direction. On election day this year, the Los Angeles Times exit poll said that now 2/3 of all Californians think that the state is moving in the right direction. That is only the second time in 15 years that many people said that we are moving in the right direction and have a positive outlook on the state. Around the nation, those numbers are quite different. Only 30% of Americans say that America is doing well and that we're moving in the right direction. Our amazing turnaround proves that California once again shines brighter than any place in the nation. And the reason of this new sense of optimism is very simple. For the first time in years, the people are seeing tangible results from state government. The results for the latent visibility is creating a better life for the people, creating a better future, and we're more willing, because of that, investing in our future. We work hard, and our economy now has come roaring back, with 650,000 new jobs being created in the last 3 years. We reformed workers' compensation, which was the poison of our economy, so that companies are now moving back to California rather than moving out. We, of course, slashed our deficit, and our credit rating was upgraded again and again and again. And the people saw that we made an extra $20 billion in revenues, but not from higher taxes, but from economic expansion. We passed the first on-time budget in 6 years, and with record funding for education. We increased education funding last year by $5.1 billion. They saw us put music, arts, and physical education back into our schools. They saw Democrats and Republicans fight global warming together, teaming up with Great Britain and other states to make sure that California continues to lead the world in protecting our environment. They saw elected officials put aside the differences, find common ground, and work together to solve problems that people really care about. Our economy and our government are stable again, and people know that now we can't afford to rebuild California. California is building and California is leading. As a matter of fact, California is number one again. We're number one in protecting our environment, we're number one in job creation, number one in economic recovery, number one in investing in education and in biotechnology, and we're number one in stem cell research, and of course have the number one university system, and we're number one in attracting investments from around the world. And that is why I'm such a big believer in foreign trade missions to sell California goods and services worldwide, because we have the best in the world. And I always said that if we don't let people know that we have the best, we have nothing. So the first year, we took the business delegation to Japan, and the following year, last year, to China and to Hong Kong. And this year, the day after the election, we went down to Mexico on a trade mission. And we're going to continue to go all over the world to sell California goods, because the world is California's marketplace. In Mexico, for instance, I met with some of the great industrialists and the biggest business leaders in the nation. They all told me the same thing, that they've seen and they're impressed with California's comeback, and they want to invest in our future. This is fantastic news because it means that more jobs for people, and it also means more revenues for our state. And of course, we still have many tough challenges for 2007 and way beyond that. We still have to fix healthcare. Healthcare to come up with new and efficient ways to deliver what people really need. We have to make education more accountable, provide parents with more information so that the parents really can choose the best schools for their children. And we have to finish what we started with our budget and infrastructure plan to make California's career-tech education the best in the world. We need more first-grade career path and training for kids who don't find what they want or what they need in traditional high schools and colleges. And we must have political reform. The people demand honest government with legislative districts that are truly competitive, so that politicians can't ever take their constituents for granted. There are just some of those issues that we have to solve. We are working on all of those issues right now. But when I look back at all of what we have accomplished this last few years in a bipartisan, cooperative way, I have to tell you that I'm filled with hope and I'm filled with optimism. And I'm extremely proud of the legislators of both parties for working so well together. You know, there's been so much discussion lately in newspapers and television and in radio talk shows and all about why California is feeling so positive once again, or about why people approved this amazing $42 billion worth of bonds, or why I was elected a second term. Everyone has a great theory, but I think the reasons are very simple. Anywhere you go in this great nation, people are yearning for elected leaders to stop pickering and to start solving real problems and to end gridlock and get things done. To concentrate less on politics but more on policy and governing. Simply, the people want their leaders just simply to govern and to lead. In California, we have been able to do exactly that. People know that there's much more that unites us than that tears us apart. That we're all in this together. Democrats, Republicans, independents, liberals, moderates, conservatives, men, women, black, white, Asians, Latinos, blue collar, white collar, rural areas, urbans, red states, blue states, everything, and everyone in between. They want results, and in California, we have shown them results. We have performed and given to the people what they deserve, by building bridges instead of walls. We have revived our economy by seeking consensus instead of conflicts. And we have made progress on so many fronts by being civil instead of scornful. And we laid out a bright vision for our future, and the people have embraced it. When you do those kind of things, everyone can win, everyone can prosper, and we can solve problems together, move our state forward, move our nation forward, and we have some fun at the same time as we're doing that. And now, of course, the important thing is that we're going to start rebuilding California. As soon as this money becomes available, I want to build, and build, because I want to see cranes everywhere in California. Thank you very much. Thank you.